This is WWE and ECW alumni, the Blue Meanie, and you're listening to PCW.
The question is, are you ready? Let me talk to you. I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can. What do you guys want to talk about? I am that damn good.
I am the B-E-S-T.
And the color red in a world full of black and white. I am the eater of worlds. Yeah, if you're some acknowledge me. The champ is here. But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. Hey, yo. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling. I am your host, Wayne, also known as Semi-Dry Chicken, and we are going to be doing Backlash predictions. Oh yes, Backlash goes all the way back to 1999, and it's still hanging around. It's been, dropped a little bit, brought back, but it's here to stay. It's one of the big 5-6 pay-per-views of the year. But let's get into the predictions, and then we're going to talk about maybe some stuff in the news. Got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. Let me bring in the co-host.
Hey, man, it's been Jay Uso's now in your city. It's just me, okay. Day one, it's just me, Day one, it's just me, okay. Day one, it's Jay. I light them all up and knock them down like this. I did. Hey, it's on me now, Hey, I'ma get them all. I'ma get them all, Yeah.
Dre.
Damn, did the teams come with an audio upgrade or something? Shit,
Oh, yeah?
That shit was hitting in my damn headphones. Anyway, what it do, PCW crew? Main event Dre Uso is now on your podcast.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're no longer on Skype. This is our first episode on Teams. Yeah, I mean, from your end, does it sound better?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. I mean, sounds perfect on my end here. I can actually run my fan in the background. I'm pretty sure it doesn't get picked up. And before, Skype would pick up just everything. My cat.
I guess we'll blame it on Teams or whatever. But yeah, that shit dropped. That shit threw me back for a moment. I'm like, hold up.
All right. Well, you know
headphones
what?
ain't normally come with that type of bass.
Well, let's add some more frickin' bass, shall we? Here we go. Doyle.
Oh, it's me. It's a D-O-Y-L-E. And how fucking good is the Sky? Am I right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I happened to be watching what was it? Well, I missed most of Raw this past Monday because I was at the movie seeing Thunderbolts, but I saw her match on NXT from last week when she teamed up with Jordan Grace to take on Roxanne Perez, and I'm blanking.
The Julia?
Yes, Roxanne and Julia. Yeah. Io and Roxanne, you could tell they got some in-ring chemistry.
Oh yeah.
They was in there cooking.
Yeah. She's had a good couple weeks. She's had a good little title run already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially,
definitely.
Leaving, WrestleMania, defeating Bianca and Rhea. I mean, that's a hell of
Yeah,
a
that
fucking
match
win
with
right
Stephanie
there.
Valkyria was awesome.
Jeez. Yeah, I like how all these best matches we've had, women's matches, Io's in the conversation with all of them the past couple months, That's good to hear. That's real good to hear.
Finally getting the respect she deserves for her work.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Yep, that's why I think it was a great choice for the win at WrestleMania, All right, guys, we are going to get into Backlash tonight. I mean, Backlash has been around for quite some time. The gimmick of Backlash, at least. This is the pay-per-view, the event that's right after WrestleMania. There was a very short time that they were calling it WrestleMania Backlash, where it was just rematches of WrestleMania. Wasn't as fun. I just... Some WrestleMania matches just don't hit the same of 3 weeks later, They just don't.
It seems like an awful fast turnaround.
Right? Yeah, I mean, we want something fresh, new. This is our new season for us, So.
Or sometimes Backlash gives you the match that you should have had at WrestleMania.
Yes.
See the year 2000.
Yes, 2000 was that the one in Washington. Triple H versus The Rock for the WWE.
Triple H Rock
Championship.
Iron Man match. Yeah.
Yeah.
The match that should have happened at WrestleMania 2000.
Wasn't Shayna the guest referee?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Shane was the guest referee, and that's when Stone Cold returned at the end.
And the year after that,
Memories.
Oh yeah. Has anybody ever explored the story behind that? Like why we didn't get that match at WrestleMania? Why we instead had that 4-way overbooked McMahon versus McMahon BS.
I'm positive that Bruce Pritchard has talked at length about it. I'm sure. If you go listen to his podcast, I'm sure he has blathered on and on.
I need to look that up.
Or somebody with a podcast has discussed it. I'm sure.
Because who was really sitting in the meetings at that time and said, "All right, the plan is Rock Triple H." Nah, you know what this needs? Big Show. And Linda. And the rest of us. Right.
Ugh. Yes.
Like who couldn't stop that snowball from going downhill?
I saw this Backlash has gone to Raw. It's been like a Raw pay-per-view for a while, and then it was a SmackDown pay-per-view for a short time. And then back
wasn't it like randomly in the fall one year? Wasn't it like randomly not anywhere near WrestleMania?
Yeah, dude. One time, September 11th, 2016, Backlash in Richmond, Virginia. Main event was Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Why? That's weird. They're all in April, May, end of April, beginning of May, September. The latest one, here's another one, June 2020. Main event, though that was at the Performance Center, that's why. COVID. Edge versus Orton. Well, But anyway, long history, 20 pay-per-views thus far, Backlash. Tonight, or not tonight, but this card, not as big. Like we said off air, maybe SmackDown might throw in another match. I was thinking Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, because I was kind of surprised it just even wasn't on there yet, but I guess they want to build a little more for it. Maybe that's a match they're going to waste on SmackDown, or maybe that's something they'll just add. I don't know. Let's get into our predictions, right? And then let's hit the news. I'm not going to go in the order they have here. I'm going to go in the order I see fit. Let's kick off with Pat McAfee versus Gunther. I think this is... I think I know where Gunther's going after this. A lot of people probably aren't going to agree with me and like the idea, but I think we're going to be getting after this we're going to be getting Gunther versus Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg?
Yes. The
Bill Goldberg.
Yeah. I feel like Gunther is going to be next. Because I saw that, that they talked about maybe stretching it out to like maybe a Saudi show, which is going to be in May or June. You know what I mean? So like, if you're going to start this feud with Gunther, we're going to start it now. So I'm not saying there's going to be any. I'm not going to say there's any types of there's going to be no shenanigans. I think Pat's going to do some cool spots, but at the end of the day, I think he's going to take a couple chops to the fucking chest, and he's going to go down. I don't think Michael Cole's going to get involved. I don't think Goldberg's going to get involved. I think just Pat McAfee's just going to get a beat down. I think it'll be fun though. I'm interested to see Pat McAfee wrestle again. It's been a while. He's only had like 8 matches, 7 I think in his wrestling in WWE. His last wrestling appearance was at the Rumble. Before that, defeated The Miz. He defeated Happy Corbin. He defeated Austin Theory.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, right. But let's not forget that Pat McAfee
lost to Vince.
He lost to Vince, and he did. You know what though? Like, if you're looking for like a pretty good Pat McAfee match, go back to War Games, like NXT 2020, June 12th, 2020, is the Undisputed Era and Danny Burch, Oni Lorcan, Pat McAfee, and Pete Dunne. They lost, but it was a good match.
Pat McAfee was in a War Games match?
Yeah, man. This is what I mean. Like, this is like good. I know, right? Like shit you never do.
No wonder I didn't watch that.
Yeah, and he did fight Adam Cole on a one-on-one match at a takeover. But yeah, like a War Games match. So
who knew Pat had that dog in him?
So it is funny because like I was like, man, like Pat McAfee could be, more involved in matches, and then I said it too loud, and Vince's big fucking ears must have been ringing. I got an idea. I'm gonna wrestle him at WrestleMania after he loses, or after he beats Austin Theory. It's what a terrible segment. Yeah. So another unfortunate L on his card. He might just be taking another defeat because yeah. So Gunther for the win. Dre, what are you thinking?
I mean, obviously Gunther should win this match and probably will win this match. Only real question in my mind is just how bad is he gonna whoop Pat McAfee's ass?
Dude,
hopefully they don't try to turn this into some overbooked gimmicky BS, because that may be worthy of a Pat McAfee match at this point, but it's not worthy of Gunther to be in some overbooked gimmicky borderline comedic nonsense. This should be just a downright down dirty dogged ass whooping. Maybe Pat tries something slick to maybe catch Gunther by surprise, if that's what you want to call it. But ultimately, he should just beat the dog shit. He should just get his ass kicked. And that should be the end of it. I honestly don't even know why the hell we're having this match in the first damn place. Like, really? Like, y'all couldn't think of nothing else to put on the card? Or does Pat McAfee have a clause in his contract or something? I get one match every 18 months or something. Like, that's my thing. Is like, how did we even get here? Let alone to put the match on a PLE. I mean, St. Louis that's not Pat McAfee's hometown, is it?
No, it's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He only mentions it every 3 sentences.
So yeah, I'm just wondering how we got here to that they said we're gonna put this match on the show, but
yeah, I don't.
It is what it
We're gonna
is.
fire a bunch of wrestlers and then put a Pat McAfee match on the show.
Right.
Well, not just that. Like we were just talking about.
Where did this come from?
What other matches? Like what other titles aren't even on the fucking card? Like the women's titles. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
But we got
Once again, no US, no mid card title defended on the PLE.
No.
None
Oh,
of
the
the
women's mid. Actually, we're
I'm
finally
sorry. I'm
getting a
sorry.
women's mid.
We are getting one because we're getting the women's Intercontinental title match.
Well, I mean,
think.
no, the US
But the
title.
US one, yeah. Still, no PLEs for the US title.
We could have had vacated
Apparently,
women's
that
tag
belt is a
titles.
SmackDown exclusive.
Yeah. We could have had vacated women's tag titles because,
Fuck them damn belts.
According to
damn
the
belts.
SmackDown
At this
general
point-
manager, you got to be there to defend your title, Dom. Right?
Mm.
Dom wanted
At
to
this
go
point,
home.
I am completely off of the women's tag division ship. Fuck them damn belts. Them belts might as well be speed belts for me, in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm done with them.
I
I'm
wash
done
my
with
hands.
them. We'll talk. Right. We'll talk about it when we get into the firings. But I'm done with those belts at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in hearing how much Doyle is going to enjoy watching Pat McAfee get skull dragged all over this arena.
Well, real missed opportunity here, I think, to have Gunther say something like, Pat, I can't do Gunther accent. I'm not going to try. Pat, the difference between us is I'm an ass kicker. You're just a kicker. Yeah, I think Wayne kind of nailed it. I think this match exists to get Bill Goldberg back for his last match, which I think will be at SummerSlam, and this ridiculous 2-day SummerSlam we're doing for some reason. Yeah, I mean, Gunther was just fucking. Not only was he just World Heavyweight Champion, but he's been a champion for like 80% of the time he's been in WWE in various iterations or whatever. He's barely ever loses. Like, okay, let McAfee get a lick or two in. I suspect he'll have some type of catch you by surprise, something up his sleeve. But Gunther should beat the living fuck out of him, right? Like, this shouldn't even be a question. I do expect Michael Cole to get involved somehow, and I certainly expect Goldberg to. I don't know if he interferes and costs Gunther the match, or he comes later, to save Pat after the fact. I'm not sure which, but I think that's the whole point of this, in my opinion. We need to get Gunther away from the title scene a little bit. We need to get Gunther away from being champion for half a year, a year and a half at a time, right? For me, I'd rather see, if we have to suffer to a Pat McAfee match, I would rather it be against someone other than Gunther. I think it is beneath Gunther. I think Dre said that. Everything says Gunther's going to win this, so I think Pat McAfee's going to win.
You know what? I wasn't fully thinking about the Goldberg factor. And yeah, if this is going to be the catalyst for the Gunther Goldberg feud,
they had where was their interaction? Was that
the Raw premiere? Was that the Raw Netflix premiere?
Yeah, it might have been. It was around then. I don't remember what exact event, but that was for a reason, and I think this is that reason.
Sure. And I think in order for it to really warrant the match, Goldberg has to cost Gunther the match. Because if Pat McAfee's just getting shit canned and Goldberg shows up for the save, then it's like,
So what? Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, you got my face again? Whatever, man. Fuck you. You old, you retired. But if Goldberg costs Gunther a match against Pat McAfee, so now Gunther has to walk around with that L on his record, like you just said, the guy who's been championed 80% of his time has been dominant, but now has this glaring blemish on his record of a loss to Pat McAfee. And not to mention having to come out every Monday night on Raw, seeing Pat McAfee there at ringside, knowing that motherfucker pinned me. That something like that could enrage Gunther so much that he would demand a match with Goldberg and force that match to happen. And I think that's probably the only way that, one, the feud itself could be interesting in the build-up. Because the match itself, Gunther Goldberg, it is what it is. It'll probably be short, quick, simple, whatever. But to at least make the feud interesting, that would be the catalyst.
Yeah, he's got
for it. That would be it. Gunther being so enraged that he took this loss because of Goldberg. So yeah, I think I'm changing. I think yeah, I'm in agreement with y'all. Pat will probably win this match because of Goldberg.
That's
The only
not
thing
bad,
that seems to
man.
make sense.
I know.
Either that or again, Pat McAfee just gets skull dragged all over St. Louis.
Yeah, that would be
And-
perfectly acceptable.
Right, and then just write them off. Or,
Very little desire to see Goldberg come back.
I know.
Right.
And you know
Unless
what?
he's gonna help Pat win.
Doyle, man, I don't think it's Goldberg's last match. I think they're gonna want him to stick around for maybe for another match or two.
I don't know. They've been.
Nobody wants Goldberg to stick around for another match or two.
What are you eating, Dre?
We barely want
I
the
don't know.
one that we're gonna get.
Yeah. I don't
Dre.
want the one we're gonna get. Let alone I don't want 2 or 3. I don't know. The Dirts have been saying Gunther, he's gonna have a retirement match this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Goldberg
Maybe it'll
himself
be
has been
retirement
saying.
matches. I don't know.
Yeah, Goldberg himself has been saying that his retirement match is this summer. He just hasn't said when this summer. Well, summer starts in June.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're idiotic enough to think that Goldberg's a draw in 2025 because they've
Right.
booked
Yep.
themselves into this enormous 2-day venue for 2 days for SummerSlam. So they're going to need to put something big.
Right.
Yeah.
And if not SummerSlam, then whoever else would be willing to pay money for something like that would be the Saudis.
Yeah,
They could
exactly.
book him
If
on that-
it's not SummerSlam, the Saudis,
Yeah.
for sure.
Right. And they could book him on WWE's version of a side quest, which is those Saudi PLEs.
And actually, is the Saudis before SummerSlam, isn't it?
No,
It is.
Then
Even
it's
though
probably-
Crown Jewel apparently is not happening this year.
Yeah,
it's
but they're
in
doing
June.
Night
The
of
Saudi
Champions
Super Show or
something.
whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Or,
Perth?
yeah,
Perth?
whatever.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, which makes no sense because the whole point of the royal, what was it called, Royal Crown, is that there's a royal family in Saudi Arabia.
The Crown thing. Yeah. Oh, the Crown Jewel Cup or Crown Jewel
Or Crown
Championship.
Jewel, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, let me correct myself. Crown Jewel is happening this year. It's just not in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense.
Like, damn, how the fuck? You're right. How you lose the rights to the damn show that was created for y'all? Like, damn, y'all got outbid by Australia?
Yeah. Okay. It looks like the Saudi pay-per-view is the June 28th, and SummerSlam is
Early August.
Yeah, so it probably will be the Saudi show and not SummerSlam. But I still think the same logic applies.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it'd be kind of hard to stretch it all the way out to
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Nah.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I
I'd
already
say
don't care
Saudi.
about it. I'm certainly not going to still care about it in August.
In August, right?
I'm not going to care any more about it in August.
See some slapping. See some Gunther slaps on Goldberg. Pretty cool. Wonder how they size up pretty well against each other. Gunther's gonna have to carry that fucking match. All right.
Hopefully, Bill Goldberg doesn't get his bell rung immediately.
God.
What was it? One of his awful latter day matches. Not that his early day matches were any good either. But remember, didn't one of those Saudi matches he got his belt, like maybe the Undertaker,
Yeah, it was
and
the
like
Undertaker.
Goldberg got a concussion like almost immediately, and the match
Yeah.
was just fucking a shit show because of it.
Wasn't
Am I
there one
remembering
where
that
he,
right?
He
Undertaker,
hit
I
his
thought
head.
got concussed.
Oh,
That-
okay, maybe
that one.
I'm misremembering.
No, there.
Yeah, I
there
thought it was
one,
Undertaker
Doyle.
got concussed because he says he doesn't remember anything after a certain moment in the match.
Yeah.
Okay, that could be. Well, anyway, the match was fucking the shits.
Terrible.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I guess Goldberg, like, you know, how he would he said he would hit his head against the door before he comes out for his entrance. So like he hit his head. I forget what match it was, and it was bleeding. And I feel like that's the one where he got concussed. He knocked himself
Goldberg
out.
was the king of doing
But
the
he also-
most.
He
for
punched
no
he
reason.
punched through a real limousine window and fucking like
Damn near
severed a tendon. in his-
severed an artery or
Yeah,
something like that. Was
idiot.
bleeding. Yeah, back in WCW.
He's an idiot. Bill Goldberg.
There's also like him spearing like the ring posts and like knocking himself out. Like,
He definitely believed his own hype way too much.
Oh yeah.
yeah. All right, there's probably some Goldberg fans out there right now just losing their shit as we're just like tossing him in the trash. Just, I thought he was gonna be next. Well, guess what?
Go fuck yourself!
Thank you, Cody. All right, let's move on. All right, the next match on the card is Lyra Valkyrie, the women's Intercontinental Champion, versus returning Becky Lynch. Now, after Bayley suffered an injury at the hands of an unknown assailant, which we later found out was Becky Lynch, per the storyline, partnered up, defeated Raquel and Liv, and then won the tag titles, and then immediately lost them the next night within 24 hours for betrayal to her friend and protege. Then a week later, Lynch revealed that she had injured Bayley. A vengeful Valkyrie interrupted, issuing a challenge for the championship match at Backlash, and Becky accepted. The last time these two went at it was Halloween Havoc in 2023. Valkyrie has a victory over Becky already. But come on, I know at WrestleMania we were all like, "There's no way they would put two titles on Valkyrie." Like, and you know what I mean? Like, I didn't see it coming, and they fucking did it. Valkyria, sorry. I don't think they brought Becky back to be heel just for nothing. I think if you truly want to be a Grand Slam, now you have to win the mid-card titles. So, I think to also help elevate the Intercontinental title, I think heel Becky's gonna hold on to it for a bit. And, now she's got the chase. So, and I like heel Becky. It seems like a lot of people who are going heel, though, lately, it's more or less, she's gone very similar to the John Cena route, where it's our fault, the fans' fault. We're the ones. We're the bad guys, She's the Thanos in her story. Dre, what are you thinking here? Yeah.
Well, she's been getting more of the Hogan accusations as of late.
Yes.
Given what she what happened at WrestleMania, which she has vehemently refuted, and I think rightfully so. I think the Hogan comparisons were a bit much from fans. Like, and it was nice to see her acknowledge openly acknowledge Hogan as one of the worst human beings on the planet. I appreciated hearing that from her. Because, agreed, Becky, agreed.
Right.
But as far as this match goes, I get the argument of, putting the belt on Becky, let her elevate it as the champ, and, have somebody chase her to eventually take her down. That's a valid argument. I think another argument could be made that Becky is back here now to help elevate the next generation. So maybe she does the job for Lyra and puts Lyra over in this match as a way to elevate Lyra Valkyria, because they seem to be very high on her, even though it appears that the fans do not quite feel the same. And nothing against Lyra, because, she's good in the ring. She's reasonably decent on the mic. It's just
her promo on Monday was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, she just doesn't seem to connect with the wrestlers yet, and the Big Bird gimmick or whatever this thing is, it just really ain't working. Yeah, whatever it's supposed to be, it ain't connected. Like it ain't curling all the way over.
Yeah.
But I think it almost feels bad for Lyra to have to drop, to get two belts and then lose both of them in less than a month. But I think that may be the route they're going. I think they may have realized that they maybe tried too much too soon with Lyra, or they're going to maybe try a different approach to maybe get her over or something. But I'm kind of in agreement about the whole Becky becoming champion and then a chase for somebody to rise up and take her down and make that a big deal, maybe by SummerSlam or something.
Right.
So I think Becky's probably going to go over in this match, and they'll do some work or something to keep Lyra in the hunt, in the picture. Will she be the one to eventually regain it from Becky? That's TBD. But I don't think they're just going to take all the belts off Lyra and, send her back to the bottom mid cards or anything like that.
It could be the rubber match, since Lyra, has a...
I mean, I guess the rubber match, if they're going to have to remind people that they had a match at NXT, because most people aren't going to know about that or remember that.
It's not canon. I remember it. I was there. Yeah.
I mean, just like people don't remember that Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton had a match.
What?
A great match.
Yeah, a great match. Yeah, that's the one that put Tiffany Stratton on the map for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Tiffany, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Tiffany is the one who beat Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship.
I think that's right.
Yeah, because I remember that match because, like I said, that's when I first became aware of Tiffany Stratton. They had an absolute phenomenal match at NXT. I think I may have talked about it on this show one episode, and said that she was somebody I was going to keep my eye on. Then she came to the main roster, became an uppity little twat, and got on my nerves. But
Wow.
other than that,
But how you
she's
really
still phenomenal in the ring.
Jeez.
Come on, don't be crazy.
Take it easy. Doyle, let's hear your opinion, man. What say you?
I hate to see two Finian daughters of Erin's dear old Emerald Isle at odds with each other like this. It really breaks my heart. No, I think this might be match of the night contender. I think this is going to be a good one. I think they're going to do the thing where they put every now and then they do it with the men's belt as well. Every now and then they put it on somebody that seems too big for it. The mid-card titles, that is, I guess in the hopes of elevating said title. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Becky probably goes over. And then maybe you can even have Lyra chase her back and get it back at some point. That certainly is feasible. You can't book a run-in every fucking every match on the card, but wouldn't shock me to see Bayley return here and maybe cost Becky. That's one way I could see Lyra maybe winning. But if Goldberg's going to interfere in one match and Bayley's going to interfere in this match and somebody else might interfere in another match, it gets a little crazy and repetitive. But wouldn't shock me to see Bayley return here and cost Becky the match.
I could see Bayley returning to be Becky's first challenger as IC champion.
That could be too.
Yeah, that's true. Or some sort of triple threat match. Absolutely, might be interesting. But yeah, what other? I mean, we really don't have. It's the only women's match on the entire card. Ugh.
And I'm on WWE's website right now, looking at their Backlash preview. Why is it that the Women's Intercontinental Championship match is the only one that doesn't have a Backlash graphic for it? That's fucked up.
I think you should get down and dirty and find out, man.
Some intern better be fired over this.
God, we should complain.
Do better, WWE. Do better.
Do better. Do better. All right, let's lift our spirits here a little bit, shall we? This match I'm excited for. Jacob Fatu, the United States champion versus LA Knight. Yeah. Damian Priest, the Vicarious Vampire, and Drew McIntyre. I think this is going to be match of the night, fellas. You got four highly elevated guys who are all main eventers in their own right. I think they're going to put on a good quality match here. I think we're going to see some people going through some tables and shit. I think this is a hell of a lineup for Jacob Fatu for his big first title defense, right? Fatal 4-way. Yeah, I think it. Unfortunately, LA Knight's probably gonna eat the pin, but Jacob Fatu's gonna retain. But regardless of him retaining, I mean it's gonna be a great match. I expect some men slapping meat slapping meat. I'm hoping Jacob has a lengthy run with this title. I talked about it last episode. I think they're hinting at Solo coming after him. But I still think after whatever they do, I hope he still holds on to this title. There's a lot of people thinking there could be some shenanigans. I just think it's too early for that for Solo to cost him the title even. I think if anything, he wants it for himself. I don't think he's going to cost him the title. Unfortunately, I think LA Knight's just going to kind of float in the mid-cards for now. Unless they put him in like a world title scene maybe. I don't know. But unfortunately, that's where he's going to float. That's where he's just going to stay. I don't know if they're going to... I think they're going to keep doing this Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre feud for a little bit longer. It seems like it might extend after this. Which I don't mind it. I like their feud. They're elevating each other, putting on some decent matches. So, I like all the backstage brawls they've been having and stuff. So,
they're keeping each other relevant.
Yeah, they are. They are keeping each other relevant. Dre, what do you think? Let's get your input.
As I'm sitting here looking at the graphic of this match, too, LA Knight really comes off as the odd one out in this, even though he's the former champion.
Right.
Because you look at Damian Priest, rough, brawler, know he can get down and dirty. Drew McIntyre, resume speaks for itself. And Jacob Fatu, resume damn sure speaks for itself. And then you got this old pretty boy motherfucker on the side with glasses and shit. And I don't know that we've ever seen drop a lick of blood in a ring, at least not in WWE. I'm pretty sure he has at some point in his career, but I don't know. And the megastar, like 3 brawlers and then the popular guy with the fans, which at a certain point in time in wrestling, history would have led you to believe that the popular guy is going to win and conquer the other 3. Nah. That's not going to happen in this one. I definitely think Jacob Fatu retains. As far as who eats the pin, I'd be happy if LA Knight was the one to eat the pin, not because I have anything against him, but just because I don't want to see Damian Priest eat back-to-back pins on 2 PLEs. Mm-hmm. And I think we're all damn certain that Drew ain't eating the pin from Jacob Fatu in a fatal 4-way. So, somebody had to eat the pin. Yeah, I would hope that it would be LA Knight instead of Drew McIntyre. As far as this being match of the night, I mean, it has the potential, but I think this is really just going to be a brawl and power moves and haymakers thrown left and right. I got a different match that I think is still the show. So, but that's where I'm at on this one.
Doyle?
Yeah, I mean, I see no reason Jacob Fatu should not continue his I almost said IC title, U.S. title reign. I expect him to have a pretty lengthy and dominant one. And really the only thing, and again, you can't fucking run in every fucking match, but the only thing I could see derailing that would be Solo fucking him over somehow. Because I still think that's something they're going to go with, unless they're just going to employ Solo to be his second, which is more or less what he is. I don't know though. I feel like Solo's going to have something to do with this match. Maybe he interferes on Jacob's behalf, but it's still starting us down that path. I don't know. I just kind of, my normal equation, Drew and Priest kind of cancel each other out, and then Jacob Fatu is just better in every conceivable way to LA Knight. Sorry, LA Knight. And I really see no reason Jacob shouldn't win. But I think it'll be fun. I don't know if it's going to be match of the night, but it'll be fun, I think. Definitely the hardest hitting match of the night, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll probably put this right in the middle of the show. Because I don't trust the card that they have here. They have this towards the end of the night.
Who goes through a table in this match?
Ooh, dude, I think, Damian and Drew put each other through the table. Take each other out. And then LA Knight, like I said, he's going to be the one to eat the pin, eat that fucking moonsault.
I can see that.
Yep.
I can see that, but yeah. This is definitely going to be, if any match on the card is going to involve some tables, it's going to be this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously there's no disqualification in a fatal four-way.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Moving on.
Hell, I can see Fatu moonsaulting somebody through a table.
Yo, don't bring me hope, man. I love that, but I might take him out.
Yeah. It'd be enough for him to get the win on somebody, or to make him look like even more of a beast because he tries to moonsault somebody through the table. They move out the way, he goes through it,
yeah.
and then still comes back to win.
Yeah, that's true. If he can get up from that and still make the W, I'd be pretty damn impressed. Are we talking like the ring post to the announce table?
No, regular table, like in the ring, like
I was gonna say
the moonsault he does, where he jumps up to the top rope and then hits the moonsault.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see him have somebody on a table in the ring, like he's gonna moonsault them through the table. They move out the way, like somebody like LA Knight moves out the way, and Jacob Fatu ends up going through the table.
Hey,
and then LA Knight tries to hit a BFT, think he has the win, and Fatu kicks out.
We're going through a fatal four-way match where Jacob Fatu would be the high flyer in the match. Huh. How about that? I mean, I don't think I would have seen that coming.
Well, yeah, I think the last time Damian Priest tried to pull off a Hurricane Rana, it didn't look the best.
Ugh, yeah, he's too awkward and big for that. All right, let's move on to the next match. I got Dominik Mysterio, the new Intercontinental Champion, versus Penta. Did we really need this on the card? Is the build
Hell yeah.
This much? You really think so? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like shit heel Dom. I like Penta. This guy, for me, new guy coming to the WWE roster. I'm really liking him. Unfortunately, I don't see him getting the title. I see Dom retaining. A lot of people thought Dom would have lost it very quickly because of how he won it. And I was like, no. It's going to be the opposite. Dom's going to, whether it's through some shenanigans with Judgment Day, whatever, Dom's going to hold on to this Intercontinental title for a little bit. I don't think it's going to be Penta taking it off of him, man. I don't know. I think it's maybe somebody within Judgment Day who might take it off him. Like, I don't know, Finn Balor maybe. But I think it's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. I like Penta's entrance. I think it's pretty cool. Starting to get used to the music. Because a lot of these wrestlers are always changing fucking music. I want a good song that has a hook that makes you, as soon as you hear it, you know who it is. Because, I mean, even when Finn Balor comes out, it's like, I don't know who the hell that is. I have to wait until he's out. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's Finn Balor. Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the case with everybody now. I mean, it
Right.
kind of made the rounds around the social media this week about how Zelina Vega got zero pop for her match when she was introduced on SmackDown for her title defense
Right.
match. It's because nobody knew that was her theme.
Yep, exactly. And then, but Aleister Black came back, but got to keep his.
Mm-hmm. That's why people knew who it was. They heard the music like, oh,
Yep.
a theme we actually remember.
Yeah, I do recall Selena Vega having a decent theme song before she joined the LWO. She had one that I just can't remember off the tip of my tongue. Yeah, that's what you need. You need to maybe go back to the well of which entrance theme worked for your gimmick and stick with it. There's no shame in sticking with a song for your entire career, right, Shawn Michaels? It just fucking.
There's also
works.
no shame in firing Def Rebel.
Yeah, dude.
And just acknowledging,
I'm so
hey,
done.
they weren't it.
So done. First, it was the sound effects. The Ricochet would come out.
Yeah.
Aleister Black would come out. You hear the creaking of the coffin coming up, right? The sound effects, and then we started getting the words like role model, and then there's only one royal family, like. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to this little promo. I have to give one. You know what it's going to be about. Yeah, just sit here and listen. You made it this far into the show. What we're going to talk about is something very important. It's social media. Why aren't you part of the Twitter page? The Instagram page? Our Facebook page? Join. Share. And you know what? You get in there, we'll send you a link to the Discord. What's the Discord? It's where you can talk to us all day about wrestling. Not just that. How about you go to our website, podcastchampionshipwrestling1podium.com, where you can leave a review. Not just a review. You can write into the show. You got a question? We'll answer it. But it doesn't stop there. Oh, no, it doesn't. We offer so much more. Do you want to be on the show? Do you want to shoot the shit with Dre, Doyle, and myself? Be a guest. I'll give you your own theme music. Yes, I will. But it doesn't stop there, guys. You gotta go to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy a PCW shirt. Oh, we don't have one. We don't have two. By God, we don't have three. But we do have four. 4 new t-shirts on ProWrestlingTees.com. So what the hell are you doing? You made it this far. Are you a fan or what? Are you a fucking mark? Tell them. You fucking mark! Time's running out. Alright, and we are back because guess what? We were praising the shit out of teams that first hour, and only that first hour. And why is that, Dre?
Well, because apparently them motherfuckers cut you off at 60 minutes if you're doing a group meeting, if I'm understanding this correctly. But one-on-one meetings can go up to 30 hours? The fuck kind of sense does that shit make?
So
Maybe I'm wrong. I'll continue doing research.
Yeah, so I mean everything was going well, but now we're just doing it through Discord. Whatever, that's fine. Discord's probably where we should have always have done it. Everything here is to the Discord. So if you ever want to be on the show, now you have to download Discord. Now you have to be part of it. That's right. They're being forced. Yep, well, teams, this is for you.
But you're also a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself!
Yes, you interrupted our show. It's all askew. We were on a roll. We were talking about something. I lost my train of thought. We were talking about how Def Rebel, they're terrible. I'm not done shitting on them. I mean, regardless of the gap we just had between, fixing this episode, we're still not done shitting on them. I mean, bring back CFO money, man. I don't care how much money it costs. I don't care. Bring it back. We don't need words and people saying phrases in the beginning of entrance themes. We don't need any of that shit. Anyway. Dre. Dominik Mysterio versus Penta. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I like that on this PLE, we all have different matches that we think can be match of the night. I think, Doyle,
Right.
You said you thought it could be Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Wayne, you were thinking it could be the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
I think this match could be the match of the night. I think this has potential match of the night stealing potential possibilities.
Okay.
Because if they really let him cut loose, like we've seen what Dom can do in the ring, and I'm not saying that Dom is out here, tearing the house down night after night, but I also think Dom has been limited in what he can do. I think Dom is capable of more. I think he's either been restricted or he just hasn't had the right dance partner in the ring to really showcase what he can do. I think he probably has much more in-depth luchador capabilities, but he's obviously working with regular old American and European guys in the ring, and his dad's old as dirt, so he can't lucha like he used to. But giving him somebody like Penta to work with in the ring, I think there's the potential there that we could see more out of Dom. And if that's true, him and Penta could really cook, and I think they could steal the show. That being said, Dom's still going to win and retain the title because I think they knew what they were doing, putting the title on Dom, but I think they may have underestimated just how much this was going to go over with the fans. And after seeing that reaction, I think they're like, yeah, we're going to ride this wave for a little while and see where this goes. So, yeah, Dom is definitely going to retain here in what could potentially be match of the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I thought it was a great point about Dom not having the chance to really live up to his potential yet. I think you're absolutely right about that. I mean, the kid has put in the reps, right? Like, didn't he have the most matches out of anybody like a year or two ago, or second
Something
most
like
matches, or whatever it was? Yeah, and he's kind of been, he's been in this faction all this for years now, really. And no, he's never been the focal point of the faction. It was always overshadowed by Priest, who was world champion, or obviously Rhea, and then Liv. So he's kind of hasn't really had the chance to be out front really as himself. So yeah, I think we will be kind of surprised at how he holds his own with Penta, who obviously is fucking awesome also. Like I said when he won the title, I kind of hope has a couple like honky tonk man-esque victories where he's kind of fluking his way into. He may wrestle a fine match, but the finish comes in kind of a fluky way. That'd be kind of fun, I think. Where it's going, I think is a feud with Finn. Whether or not that means that complete breakup of the Judgment Day or not, who knows? They seem to just cycle out members and just keep chugging along. So I don't know how many times I've been on this podcast saying this is it. This is the end of the Judgment Day, and they're still here. So yeah, I mean, kind of like with Jacob Fatu, they just won their titles. I can't see them taking them off of them yet this quickly, which is why I think Lyra will probably lose hers because she's been champion for a while. But I think the two guys retain their mid card titles. So yeah, I think Dom will keep it. Plus, I don't know if Penta as Intercontinental Champion does much for me. Not yet, anyway. He's still so new to the audience. Kind of needs to get more acquainted with the folks like Wayne who don't know him from Lucha Underground or AEW or AAA or wherever.
Yeah.
But I think that'll come in time.
Yeah, I agree. I think right now he's popular, but fans aren't invested yet. I think once fans really become invested in him, that's when I think he'll be ready for a title. And as far as Dom goes, I think
it may not take long.
You're right. It may not take long at all for fans to really be invested in him and want to see him, move up and become a champion. You're absolutely right. That could happen by the end of the summer. And Dom, I think the story of his title reign should be probably by hook or by crook. One way or another, he's going to find a way to keep that damn belt.
Yeah.
With Finn constantly over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I do like the gimmick Finn's been doing, where he does like the kind of like when Lando first says to Han when he's like, you got a lot of nerve coming here. How you doing, buddy? Finn's been doing that like, yeah, I'll do whatever's good for the Judgment Day. Of course I will. It's good, or whatever. I kind of like that. AJ called him Prince, so there's a lot of speculation that maybe he might have a slight character change, maybe kind of going back to his New Japan kind of persona.
Right.
We shall see.
We'll see.
Very interesting.
I do like
It's
that.
the Judgment Day.
That'd be him going back to his New Japan persona, or at least that style, could be very. Well,
I miss Killer
that's
Finn.
the next thing.
Yeah. What's funny is we've had Finn and Gallows and Anderson together. We've had AJ and Gallows and Anderson together, but we've never had Finn and AJ together. At least in WWE. They've always been on the opposite ends. They were never. I understand they were part of the Bullet Club together.
Yes, Cody was too, and so were the Tongans.
Really interesting.
I bet if there was one thing WWE wishes they could get the rights to, I bet that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, what do we have to do to get that shit?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, they of course, the NWO was way done by the time they tried to do it. But I mean, their version of the NWO was pretty wretched. Like things that they come up with themselves, they're pretty good with. But when they try to bring in outside stuff, they're not always the best at it.
True. But that was also Vince.
Fair enough. God damn it.
All right, guys, let's move on to the main event. For the first time in a long time. Well, not really the first time, but...
And the last time.
Yeah, the last
forever time.
Your last time for now.
Yeah. John Cena, the undisputed WWE Champion versus Randy Orton. Now, if you would have asked me last year if I would have been saying this kind of a match, do you see John Cena versus Orton for the championship at Backlash? No fucking way. I would have thought that. Since 2017 was the last time they squared off in the WWE ring. It was that was the time it was for the two titles. It was for the when the old world title was around still, the big gold title, and the scratchy WWE looking title. So we're gonna finally see these two face off again. The Viper will be overwhelming fan favorite in his hometown of St. Louis. And the first defense against Cena's promise to ruin professional wrestling. the tour that he's going on, where he's just going to ruin it for all of us. With that said, with everyone involved, the high stakes, the amazing signature moves and finishing moves, and just the tables are turned here. I mean, we're so used to these two. If you go back and look at the history of these two, of just Orton's always the heel. He's always the shit heel.
This is their 22nd pay-per-view match, by the way.
Jeez, together, holy crap! Damn, there you go.
Cena is 13, 7, and 1.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be match of the night. It has story, but I think it's still gonna be pretty good.
It's kind of wild they've wrestled each other that many times on pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes money, right?
Like shit, like freaking Austin and Rock haven't had that many. Not even close.
You know what I mean? So these guys know each other. They have chemistry. I mean, you're talking about the two, best in the business getting in the ring together still. Let's see if they... I want to see what kind of quality match we're going to get out of these two older dogs,
I mean, it's got to be better than Cody match, right?
Right. Yeah.
Can't be worse than Cody.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely think it's going to be more interesting than the Cody match with Cena.
And the crowd's going to be hot as fuck.
Yeah, especially
for everything that Randy Orton does. Absolutely.
Yep.
We know John's still in, play it safe mode, but Randy should probably go balls to the wall for his hometown.
Yeah. I expect like most of this match is just gonna be chants. After the entrances.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be one of those. The bell's gonna ring, and then it'll be 5 minutes before they touch.
Yeah, before they even.
Because they're just gonna stand there and stare at each other for 5 minutes.
Yep.
Soak it all in.
Soak it all in, right? Especially Orton comes out last. They're just gonna be singing his theme music until it's done. They're gonna sing the whole fucking song. So, I mean, it's gonna be fun. I mean, I can only imagine being there in St. Louis with Orton. It's gonna be wild. The way I would love. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Orton get another, W over Cena. Especially now that he's the face, to get a little bit closer to that 17th world title, right? It would put him up. It would put him what, 15? Because he's at 14 now, or is he at 15?
Orton 14.
Orton 14. So we'd put him at 15. So it'd be the realm possibility of still catching up. But I don't see Cena dropping the title anytime soon. Great first title defense, though. Orton right to the top, right? Like, all right, okay, I'm enjoying this feud so far. Like, Cody's in the rearview mirror. We're not doing rematches, right? So, let's go. Like, who else we got? Like, if we're dusting off old rivals, I'm content with that, because this is a different Orton. This is a bigger Orton. This is a more leaner Orton. You know what I mean? Like a more seasoned Orton. John Cena's this wild, rare heel persona, and I just love it. So with that said, I see a low blow. Unfortunately, I don't want a low blow. I don't want any interference, and for the love of God, I don't want to see any Travis Scott. No. I want to see I want to see a clean win. And I don't think we're going to get it, but by God, would I love to see a clean win. But, Cena's going to retain on this one for me. I want to get your guys' input on this. Dre, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. Cena will retain. Only question is how. Like, does he actually pin Orton to get the win? Or do we get some sort of DQ finish? Or what other manner of storytelling shenanigans do we get? This match doesn't really seem primed for any type of run-in. Given that obviously Kevin Owens is out with his neck injury, and I mean, nobody else has really popped up. Like, the only person that could really conceivably show up to be involved in this match in any way, shape, or form would potentially be Cody, if we get a Cody Rhodes comeback, since we haven't seen him at all since WrestleMania. If he decides to show back up and try to go after, Cena or whatever. But does he do that and cost Randy Orton the match? And does that lead to a Orton-Cody, dust up or something of that nature? I don't think they go in that. I don't see that happening as of yet. I don't see Cody. I know Cody's getting some well-deserved time off right now. I don't think he's going to be back that quickly either from WrestleMania. So, honestly, I think this match is probably, even though it's the main event, something tells me it's not quite going to live up to people's expectations. I think because it's the main event, because it's Cena and Orton, I think people are putting a whole lot more into it than what they're actually going to get. Not saying that's going to be a shit show of a match or terrible or anything. I just think it's going to be a fairly basic, simple, plain match, and Cena's just going to do some regular cheating thing to win. And that'll be it. So I'm keeping my expectations low for this match.
Right.
Crowd will be hot as hell, but that will probably be the best thing about this match is the crowd.
Right. All right, Doyle. Let's hear it, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the match itself will be better than the Cena Cody match was, but that match was also pretty awful. I think this being inside in an arena will help it. I think those outdoor arenas like that are hard to get loud, and the sound goes right up. When you're in a basketball arena, which is where I assume they're going to be, the sound kind of gets stuck in there and bounces around and whatever, and the crowd's going to be hot as fuck for Randall Keith. But yeah, I mean, I think Cena's going to use heel tactics to win, whether it's a low blow, whether it's a belt shot, whether it's, I don't know what it is. I think he's going to purposely try to slow the match down, a lot of rest holds, kind of stuff like that.
Right.
Randy's definitely going to get his licks in for sure. But yeah, I mean, the Cena's heel story isn't ready to be over by any measure, so it's certainly not going to be right now. I would like to see Randy gets another title reign at some point in the near future, because I don't know how, you never know when these old guys, I'm older than Randy, you never know how much time they have left, especially at such a high level, and I think Randy is still, he's past his prime, but not way past his prime, I don't think. Cena obviously is maybe a step or two ahead. But I mean, this match can't possibly be worse than that Cody Rhodes match. So I'm gonna keep my hopes low and hope for my expectations low and hope to be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see Cena winning any other way than via heel bullshit.
This is where The Rock comes back, right?
Yeah.
Right? Imagine how pissed off people
Good
would be.
Lord.
Like, if this is where he comes back. For what shenanigans?
So since you said his name,
Oh, because I said his name.
I had a
Here we
thought
And he
about.
appears.
go. Yeah.
I believe in Dwayne Johnson.
No matter how many times you say his name, he doesn't appear.
No, I had a thought about that because obviously after WrestleMania, there was a whole lot of flack about The Rock not showing up, after all this billing, and, he was supposed to be the catalyst for, or the reason why Cena turned, and then nothing, and, on and on and on about that.
Right.
So I did some brainstorming. I wondered if there was a way, and obviously The Rock didn't help it with his appearance on Pat McAfee, talking about, everything's a work and yada yada, and Ari called me to call in because ticket sales for Elimination Chamber weren't all that great, when in fact the numbers were actually doing pretty damn well and we're doing just fine. And, after that, I said, just make it about them, yada, yada, whatever. Is there a way to somehow save that story with Rock as the final boss and the Cena heel turn and the whole Cody want your soul, this, that, and the third? I think there is.
Well, here's the question you got to answer: is like, is it better to just cut bait or do something else, try to like retcon it or whatever, and just make it worse?
There's
That's what I'm
an
afraid of
argument,
making
obviously,
worse.
to just cut
You would
base,
have
cut
to,
your losses,
you would have
and
to
move
thread
on.
that needle perfectly, I think.
But I think there's a way to save it, and I think it would be if you use Cody and The Rock as the heel turn. If Cody ends up actually selling his soul to The Rock to get his title back. If Cena's the heel, or Cena is the champion, Cody comes back. Cody wants his title, but, he lost. And then when they have their match or what have you, and then Cody is the one who does something heelish to Cena, does a cheating thing to Cena to win the title. And then afterwards, The Rock comes out and Cody embraces The Rock. And it turns out that The Rock was still after that, Rock never was just using John Cena. He's like, it was never about you, Cena. It was never about, you being my guy. It was always about Cody. I just used you to get Cody to finally sell me his soul. And now he's done that to become champion again. And all this, that, the third. You get your Cody heel turn. You get The Rock, bringing this back full circle to Elimination Chamber and getting Cody's soul. The fact that The Rock was the catalyst for Cody's heel turn will solidify Cody as a heel and get Cena back as being a babyface, so that way he can close out his run as a babyface. And now we have Cody title run number 2 as The Rock's guy and as a monster fucking heel. I think it could work, and I think that's a way you could potentially save it.
I mean, like, I might be
Just
on
throwing
the
that
same
out there.
page with Doyle. I get it. I get what you're throwing, right? But I'm not picking it up. I'm not picking it up, man, because I just...
It would have to be. It would have to go perfectly.
I know. I gotta go with Doyle. Like, I think at this point, just let it go. Let it just disappear into the ether. We won't talk about it no more. I don't know.
I think eventually they will have to turn Cody heel.
Yeah, I just think it's...
And it may be sooner rather than later, because I think he's already maybe starting to lose the crowd, similar to what happened in AEW. But on the other side of the coin is he's still such a fucking cash cow for them. And I think they always, as much as Jay is also like a kind of more kid-oriented character, Cody is certainly that. And that's something that I think they will always, always, always have at least one of. And I'm not sure that there's an heir apparent really to take that spot if they do turn him here. I guess he would still do the Make-A-Wish stuff and what, the blah, 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 blah. But, do we know if Cena's doing that or not? Like,
Make-A-Wish stuff now as a heel?
Yeah.
I would imagine he probably still is. They're just being super quiet about it since he's a heel. Just like, I'm pretty sure Roman was granting wishes as the tribal chief, even though he was the top guy in the company and was a heel like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I think that could still theoretically happen with Cody, but yeah, they'd have to be super hush-hush about it. But yeah, that is the biggest argument against Cody being heel, is that he's consistently their number 1 or number 2 merch seller all the time, and the face of the company.
Maybe Punk can fill that void, but he's
Punk is kind of
closer to 50 than 40.
I'm about to say, he's elder statesman status, so that would be more or less. He'd be basically a placeholder.
Right.
He'd be somebody just to fill the space until Cody goes back to being a babyface again.
But if you look at it, like all of these guys are if they're not over 40, they're 38, 39. I mean, I think the Uzos are about to turn 40. Drew's 40. Randy's 44, 45.
That next generation needs to get up and running in the next couple of years.
KO and Sammy are both 38, 39. They might be 40. I mean, I think Gunther's 38 or 30, like all these top guys are Damian Priest is over 40. AJ Styles, I think, is almost 50.
Yeah.
The Miz is 30 something.
Oh yeah, Miz
I just don't know who would fill that void. And I feel like until there is someone that clearly would, I don't know if they're gonna move Cody out of that slot.
Well, like I said, somebody doesn't have to fill the void as the new permanent face of the company. Somebody just has to fill the void for the duration that Cody is
a year.
Right, just for maybe a year or two or however long they do it. They got plenty of people that can do that for the time being. But the bigger concern is more so, where's your next generation coming from? Like, that's the thing, like they need to get up and running because, like you said, these guys who are it now, probably the overwhelming majority of them probably got 5 years tops left in them. Maybe some guys like...
Remember fucking Hogan and Macho were like 42 when they were doing those Huckster and Nacho and Macho, they when they were making fun of them for being so old. And now like all the main event scene is older than that.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Yeah, like with guys, obviously improvements in health and medicine, all stuff, these guys can obviously go for much longer. So that timetable definitely gets pushed out. And a lot of the guys who are, in their 20s and stuff like that, whereas in the past, this would have been your time to be in, like, your prime face of the company type thing. Like, we think back to The Rock when he was, in his prime, when he was the face of the company. He was in his late 20s. He was in his late 20s when he was the guy. Mm-hmm. When he came back and, in his Hollywood, after his Hollywood career started to take off and he was in and out, that was rocking his 30s. So, obviously timetables have been pushed out further for reasons. And these guys now who are in like their 20s, mid 20s or so, they're the NXT guys now. They're the next generation.
You don't even get to the main roster till you're 33 now.
Right.
Well, guys,
actually, the timetable has completely changed from what it used to be.
Let's roll right into it. Actually, here, I'll play the button for you.
You're fired. What?
All right. Unfortunately, guys, a lot of people got fired. Let's talk about that. I'll go down the list here. First on the list, Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Cora Jade, Gigi Nolan, Eddie Thorpe, Riley Osborne, Jakara Jackson, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, Ora Mensai, Javier, I'm going to butcher these fucking names. Javier Bernal, these are all guys on, I don't even know half these people.
NXT
Palmer,
guys.
Yeah, and Shotzi, it said her contract was not renewed. ESPN also knew that Jakara Jackson, Riley Osborne, and Eddie Thorpe may have been released. Yeah. Wow. That's a lot. I mean, like, a lot of these guys, they didn't do much with Braun. They had him fight Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu for a hot minute. Poor Dakota Kai, like, just falling through the cracks of everybody in Damage Control, basically, rising, and her falling just between the cracks.
She can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's been her. I mean,
I know they really recently released Sonya Deville, so once they got rid of her, and do they still have Zoe Stark? They still have Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
Zoe Stark's the only one left from Pussy Riot, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't believe they dropped Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, like the one female organic tag team. You know, that came out from NXT
The
together.
one tag team they had on the roster that was a legitimate from the ground up tag team in their whole women's division.
It just pissed it away. I can't believe they dropped Cora Jade and oh wait, this just in. Guys, Cora Jade has started an OnlyFans. The route you go, most people go when they leave WWE, it's like sink or swim, you know, like can you make it out there on your own? So you get these guys go to TNA, which is now WWE adjacent, or they go over to AEW, what people think is the competition. So it's nice that, like, in this industry, like, in this, 2025, there's still other places you can go. It's not like, well, that's it, I'm fucked, like, I got nowhere else to go. So, it's nice to see,
you don't even need to be on either of those shows. I mean, like, Cardona, I think, does pretty well for himself, not appearing for either of those companies. I mean, I guess occasionally he pops up here and there, but
but he's like the indie king now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder if he's waiting for WWE to call him back. But it sounds like he's having a hell of a
I don't know that he's waiting per se. I mean, well, I guess I don't know that he's waiting per se. I don't think he would turn down the call if it comes, but he's probably also just as good if they don't call.
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. Like,
because he knows that called, whenever they do call for him, he's gonna rake him over the coals.
Yeah,
because you understand who you on the phone with now. You're not on the phone with Zack Ryder. Right, you're not on the phone with Zack Ryder. You're on the phone with Matt Cardona. The price is up for me, so pay me what I'm worth, or he's perfectly fine with doing what he's been doing.
Woo woo woo.
But I mean, every year when they do this, there's always a couple names that are like surprising, and out of this group you just mentioned, there'll be one or two at least that goes and does that and reinvents themselves or gets better or whatever that makes their name worth more, and they'll be back in 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. I think if Dakota Kai can stay healthy, I think she's probably your best candidate out of that crop.
Definitely.
That could be back in a 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is.
Do you know who got fired?
But every time she seemed like she got something going, she fucking blew her knee out. Just like, oh.
Yeah.
Except in this most recent run, because she's not injured right now. She's perfectly healthy. She had the fan support at the end of the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. Like, going into that final match with Lyra, the fans were clearly behind Dakota and wanted Dakota to win it. And they chose Lyra and then did nothing with Dakota after that. But yeah, I agree with you. She's definitely out of all the ones who've been released, she's definitely the best candidate to come back bigger than what she was when she left.
Yep. And we
Braun
have
Strowman.
Examples of that, dude, on our roster. Cody Rhodes left as Stardust, came back the American Nightmare.
Drew
McIntyre, I think, is the best example. That man, that guy got fired, and when he came back, man, I was like, dude, put this guy in the fucking main event. And right now, as we speak, we talk about it last episode. Toni Storm over in AEW right now, she's doing it. She got let go a couple years ago because her character just went nowhere. It was dull. And like, look at her now on AEW.
Definitely. I've heard a lot of people say that they're surprised by Braun Strowman's release, which did not surprise me at all when he got released. Just because he was on TV, he wasn't looking good on TV. He wasn't doing much. I've heard apparently he's got partial paralysis in his left leg, and apparently some information just came out about, I guess, the circumstances of his release. Well, one, it being money compared to usage, which were out of balance. Like they were paying him way more for the little amount of use he's gotten. But supposedly, I guess he's been released, but still has an open door policy with them. So it's like, we released you, but we'll call you back and still bring you in at any time that we would like to. So I guess he's on a
Rumble.
I don't know, a feature type thing with him.
Yeah.
I guess similar to what, obviously he doesn't have a deal with him like a Legends deal or anything like that. Although I wouldn't rule that out after a certain period of time.
Yeah.
But probably one of those things where you're not under this contract that we had anymore.
Right.
But obviously, if we ever want to bring you in, we'll bring you in and pay you. So if they, if Braun Strowman comes back and they want to do a, revisit the Bronson Reed, if he comes back and they want to revisit the Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman feud again, they'll call up Braun and have him come work a program like that and then be gone. So I guess that's probably the best for him right now, especially if he's dealing with physical limitations, because let's not forget he did have a pretty significant neck injury that put him out for over a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. The ones that, again, like I said before, Caden and Katana, that one surprised me, and that was why I said in the beginning of this podcast episode, fuck this women's tag division, because it makes no sense for you to release the one tag team on your roster that was a pure tag team from the ground up. You released them. You released Gigi Dolan and when she was in a tag team featured together. You released earlier this year.
Jakara.
You released Jakara out of Metaphor, which, they were a tag team. Broke that up. Granted, Lash Legend was clearly the bigger star of the two, but you never really gave them much of a shot on the main roster with the tag division. You released earlier this year Isla Dawn, when her and Alba Fire were in a tag team together. Broke that up. Dakota Kai, she
worked
still
out
could have.
well because the secret Hervis is pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah, like it makes no sense with any of the stuff that they're doing. It just you have the potential there for a tag team division, but you just break it up left and right, and just decide that, instead we'll just take you two random women who aren't doing anything, and y'all are a tag team now, so go do tag team things. And then put the title on somebody who's about to go off to do Hollywood and just whatever, which seems more like a business decision than a wrestling decision. Because, like, all right, we want this person over in Hollywood. She needs to be repping the brand, so put a belt on her so that way she can be out there in L.A. and Hollywood and on set taking pictures with the belt and putting the brand out there. Fuck the division. Like, yeah. At this point, I'm done with the women's tag team division. I do not care about it at all anymore.
According to Wrestling Observer, essentially the cuts are being made because a lot of it has to do with the guys and women getting up in age, and they're looking for people who are not going to use well compared to their salary going forward. Many of these cuts were perceived as not working hard in training, and if you don't work hard in training, there's so many people who do, and that is this point.
And that was being refuted by a number of people who got released. Gigi Dolan refuted that. I think Cora Jade refuted that.
I saw the term lazy. The ones who are lazy are going to be gone, and the ones who didn't stand out are going to be gone. Yeah, I heard about that with, people talking about how they do train and.
I don't know that I fully buy that. Maybe some people on the roster. I'm not saying that all of them were, doing their 100% most. Maybe there's some validity to some of that. Yeah. But the story was presented as if it was like a blanket excuse for the majority of them. So I won't completely write it off. Maybe some people in that list did fall in that category, where the others may have fallen in other categories. That's usually the case with stuff like that. The truth is somewhere in the middle.
What else did I have besides the god awful firings? I mean, just seasonal. It comes up every year. Oh my goodness! Did you guys hear?
I do think one last thought on the
go ahead,
firings. They really could space it out a little better, I think, after announcing all this. Oh, this is the greatest WrestleMania ever because we made so much money. But then I guess it wasn't enough to keep these people employed, right?
Right.
It just seems like a really, really
it's a bad look.
tone deaf.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a bad look. It's bad PR. Like you have, you're coming fresh off your biggest show of the year. You do all, like you said, you do all this bragging about record numbers, this, that, and third, and then Black Friday happens less than a month later.
Yeah, I mean, like I get that it's a business. I get you have to make decisions like that. I get it. But it's just like when one side of your mouth you're talking about how much money you're making hand over fist, and on the other side of your mouth you're firing people. It just it doesn't sit well with me.
No, and that's never a good look for any roster or for any company.
Yeah, any company in general, wrestling, whatever company.
Yeah.
Fellas, did you know that on the 5th, May 5th, we got a new speed champion? El Grande Americano beat Dragon Lee. This is fantastic, guys. This is absolutely fantastic. I hope he...
The one thing I care about in WWE less than the women's tag division.
The speed yeah, I mean... It's funny because actually, the reigns and days, like, listen to this. Ricochet had 42 days, right? Oh, here comes a car past my house. Oh, wonderful. Anyway, Ricochet 42 days, Andrade 159 days, Dragon Lee at 168 days. Pretty lengthy, long title runs. Where these guys just quick, can't grab them, can't get a hold of them, can't find them. That's
the timetable between Twitter payments for this bullshit ass fucking belt.
I want him to be the longest reigning speed champion of all time. Now he
can't be the longest reigning when your belt comes in monthly installments.
He's got to beat 168
I do.
days.
I wonder how long. How long is this going to go on for? This
El Grande Americano.
Grande Americano. I thought for sure
Grande
WrestleMania was going to be the end of it.
SummerSlam. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying it, but yeah, it will run its course, Doyle, and then we're going to have to. He's going to have to be unmasked.
I can't see it going past the summer.
Me too. I just think it's just something goofy for the summer, but he's got to evolve from this somehow. So,
like, I still think it's funny. I predict there will be a day when I don't think it's funny anymore, and then it'll be 2 months after that they'll finally end.
The thing I wonder about now is with the Worlds Collide show coming up
right
this summer between WWE and NXT and AAA. Are they gonna somehow try to shoehorn Grande Americano in that shit?
God, I hope so.
And if so, ooh, how's that gonna go over?
I don't know. Gable versus I almost said Vampiro. Vikingo.
From an in-ring standpoint, I mean, yeah, fucking diamonds. That's a diamond match waiting to happen. I just wonder about it from more of a PR standpoint or a perception standpoint. But
I don't think they
see.
care much about that.
Well, speaking of PR, they're gonna have to deal with some of that, maybe possibly when bringing back this superstar. They brought back Alberto Del Rio, the controversial woman beater.
Well, bring back is kind of a misnomer.
Yes,
definitely.
I think they somebody described it as similar to when they bought WCW and they kind of
they've absorbed the
assumed
contracts.
Yeah, yep. I think that's kind of all that's happened here.
Yeah. So don't expect to see
He
Del
ain't
Rio
about to
on
just
TV
suddenly
anytime
pop
soon.
up on Raw next week or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is that show?
Worlds Collide?
Yeah.
Let me look it up real quick.
He's got a beard too.
Because I what's that?
I said Alberto Del Rio's got a beard now. I don't know if anybody saw that.
Yeah, but he's also I think he's their champion.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
I would imagine that the AAA champion will be on that show. I'm just wondering, they're gonna get I'm sure they'll get the belt off of him before then.
Yeah.
June 7th. That shit is a month
That's
from
like
now.
right around the corner. Oh, shit.
Literally a month from now.
Yeah.
In Inglewood, California. At the Kia Forum.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they're gonna have to get the belt off him before that. But what the fuck do I know?
You would think so, because I can't imagine them doing like AAA World Champion versus NXT World Champion, like Alberto Del Rio versus Obafemi.
I mean, I could see them doing that match, but I mean, champion versus champion, it's not fucking working with Alberto Del Rio.
Right. No, yeah, I'd be shocked if they do something like that, because that man's name is still toxic AF.
Yes,
and obviously since WWE, AAA, they have outright bought AAA, which means they can very much exude creative control over whatever they want there. They could very easily mandate, like, okay, this guy's your champion. Who's the number 2? All right, that guy's champion now.
We have so many luchadors now. Like, we're gonna have to start our own NXT Mexico or something. Like, we're gonna.
I think there's already talk that they're gonna rebrand AAA as NXT Mexico.
We have NXT Mexico. It's called AAA.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Well, there's a rumor that they're gonna rebrand it as such.
NXT
Mexico. Whether that happens or not, who knows?
NXT Underground.
Oh, dude, I like that. That's a good one. NXT Underground.
NXT Del Sur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
NXT Lucha.
Yeah, and then Rey Mysterio will be their first champion. And then we'll have Dirty Dom show up over there with his mask.
Will you stop?
Hey.
Come on,
Holy
don't
shit.
be crazy.
What's up?
Total fucking sidebar.
Go
but
for it.
while we've been recording this whole time,
I don't want to talk about it.
Totally not wrestling related. But while we were recording this podcast, I've had the Knicks Celtics game on in the background, and I swear the last time I looked, Boston was up by like double digits. I just turned my head and saw that the Knicks won 91-90 and are up 2-0. What the fuck happened?
Wow.
Holy
They
shit.
were still playing.
I just knew Boston was like, okay, Boston got this game. I ain't gonna pay attention. I ain't gonna turn my head no more. Back fucking Boston.
Yeah,
lost.
you and me both. You and me both.
Oh God, as a Lakers fan and Boston hater, that makes me so happy.
Well, it ain't over yet.
Yeah, true. Technically, it's not.
Fucking Cavs are down 2-0 too.
You're right. Okay, back to wrestling.
They did the same thing.
Back
Cavs
to
did the same
wrestling.
fucking thing. They blew a huge lead at home. Game
They
2.
did. I was, man, fucking Halliburton cooked the shit out that dude when he hit that 3.
Well,
We'll be
that's all
fine.
I got for like news and rumors and stuff. Besides, yeah, I mean, you guys want to bring anything else up? You got anything stewing you want to talk about?
I think this upcoming Monday on Raw, we're getting a one-on-one match at Io Sky and Roxanne Perez. I am definitely looking forward to that because, as I mentioned before, the little bit of interaction that they had in that tag match at NXT, they got some in-ring chemistry. They gonna cook in that match.
Yeah. How about Paul Heyman's promo this week, where I thought he was gonna have a stroke?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I still need to go back and watch Raw because, like I said, I came in the middle of somewhere in the middle of the second half of the show.
Yeah.
But on this, we're on the subject of that. Where do we think they're going to add a third person to the stable? Because the way Raw ended seems like it's setting up on one side, Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn, and then on the other side is Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman. And Paul ain't no fucking wrestler, so
yeah, for sure.
It seems prime that we might be doing a little bit of 3-on-3 for a while, and if so, who would be the third person that they would introduce? I don't think it needs it right now, but it almost seems like they're trying to lean that way, unless Jay's gonna slide out of this feud and it's gonna be Punk and Sammy dealing with Rollins and Breaker.
Nah, they gotta add somebody else. You know who would be?
Or do they
good?
briefly form an alliance with Logan Paul as their third guy temporarily, while Paul is pursuing the title from Jay? Do they go that route? That seems less interesting.
I mean, there's a couple heels out there that are, I guess you could say, are running solo that aren't doing much. We have a returning Aleister Black. I would kind of like to know where his direction is after fighting The Miz. You know, like we talk about, throwing him.
Well, he's a babyface now too, obviously, given the crowd reactions.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be too hard to
And on
switch him to
SmackDown.
heel real quick. But you got him. You got. We discussed Rusev already ad nauseum. Who else did I think? A lot of people would say we talked about Austin Theory. I still don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody was going to join as the third, it's somebody who would need the rub or need the benefit of being affiliated with Seth and Paul Heyman, which obviously Braun Breaker is going to benefit from that.
Now,
Truth be told, Austin Theory probably is the most prime candidate for it, but I also think Austin Theory should probably get a babyface run.
Yeah. Jason Waller. You know what else I thought about? Who's been out for a while, since War Games? How about Bronson Reed?
That would not surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise.
It's a big boy. I know that's a lot of
He's a
muscle.
big boy. I just don't know if he needs to be alongside Braun Breaker.
A lot of bronze.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I can hear Seth saying, pointing to Paul, like he's got the brains, I got the bronze. Oh, fuck me. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm still mad he got fucking injured because, god damn it, Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu just looked like a fucking tag team for the ages.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yeah, he was just starting to get interesting, wasn't he?
Right. Remember how we all reacted when he showed up and it was like, holy shit, Bloodline 2.0 finally looks interesting.
Yep. This is when King Kong and Godzilla fucking team up together, That's what it felt like.
Damn, imagine where that stable could be now had they not gotten injured.
I know.
They might have actually been on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Possible. All right, man. That's all I got for tonight. You guys, Dre, you want to plug anything?
Nothing, as always. Instagram.com/PCW podcast. Check us out in the Discord. We have a voice channel now because fucking Microsoft and Teams. You can't talk to people for more than a fucking hour unless you subscribe to them. So we have a voice channel now. Maybe we'll take advantage of that and use it for some other things. Maybe just random open chats on a random Saturday night or live chat during the PLEs or something.
Yeah, I could do the PLE chats. I like that idea. So, Doyle, what's up?
I can't believe I let Bill Gates put this microchip in me from nothing. I'm in the Discord. Like the Facebook page, and despite the fact that we're down in an 0-2 hole, let's go fucking Celtics.
Yeah, and with that said, Doyle, this is for you, buddy.
You're next!
You are the world's dumbest son of a bitch.
The fact that day in and day out, for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary. Nobody can touch me.
You are not ready for Oscar!
Because the Street Profits are up and we want the smoke. You're next. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. Well, let me tell you something, brother. New day!
Cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah, my true madness here.
Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.
Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. Those rotten bastards.
Bye-bye, bitch.